Oh yes, and of course, everyone remembers last year when the Lady Gaga concert was cancelled. But I felt it would be too depressing to show the anti-Gaga images. So I just showed the fact that there is still some awesome queerness happening in Indonesia. I mean, Singaporeans didn't dress up like that. Okay, play Anna Arifin from Awis Pelangi. Okay, we talked about island Southeast Asia, and that includes Philippines, but it doesn't. I mean, Philippines has always been the odd person out in ASEAN because, you know, for what they were, you know, they're the only Christian country. They're like far away. They were like colonized by the Spanish of all people. They kind of belong in Latin America in some ways. But, recently it was reported that they're the most queer-friendly country in Asia, with 73% people saying, oh yeah, like homosexuality, yes, it should be accepted by society. And you know, they're at this point where they've been actually battling to institute anti-discrimination laws for the last 10 years. In fact, they've had a very healthy gay activist scene. Of course, they've got a very healthy everything activist scene. They have had some backlash, like the possible future presidential candidate and professional boxer Manny Pacquiao was talking about how this is all, you know, against Christianity, and the Catholic Council of Bishops is against homosexuality, and they're so religious that there are only 2 countries in the world which don't allow divorce. One is the Philippines, the other one is Vatican City. But they also have a gay political party called Ang Ladla, and they actually managed to run in the elections in 2010 despite some opposition. It's like, yeah, Vincent, can we start a queer political party in Singapore? Yeah, you know, yeah, okay, well, that's Juan de Vera, you know, yeah, he's another cool guy.
Hello Singapore, everyone in the Philippines. I hope you have a happy indignation.
Okay. Alright, now let's move on, you know, let's start moving on to mainland Southeast Asia, you know, which is like, and, Laos, Myanmar and Cambodia, they're also the newest parts of Southeast Asia. Previously, you know, communist wastelands with like, and you know, they're poor, but they're also the ones who are, as a result, really excited about being part of Southeast Asia and really happy that they're part of us. And okay, the LGBT scene there is understandably still really emergent, but since they're doing a bunch, they all had like their first gay pride in 2012. I mean, and the Myanmar, because they have similar laws to Singapore, it was a non-parade. And it was also a non-parade. I mean, they also don't go out and march because, you know, because there's human rights situation. But Cambodia's been doing ASEAN prides, you know, and seriously, the things that they are doing in Cambodia. I mean, I talking to Struan Strongman from Rainbow Community of Kampuchea. He was first working in an AIDS organization, then he got really bored. You just talk about AIDS all the time, you don't talk about human rights. So he started his group, and he has been, we still can't figure out what orientation he is. Because he doesn't seem to be gay, but he's really good at forming alliances. He forms alliances with the women's groups, with the labor groups, with the Buddhist monks, with the Muslim groups. He gets everyone to be great. He gets everyone to go out and campaign for each other's rights together in the street, because they all feel oppressed. Recently there was this really interesting victory. You see, the king of Cambodia, Sihanouk, actually was going like, you know, he's been speaking out in support of gay rights since 2004 in his blog, and in 2000, And whereas Hun Sen, the prime minister, was like, no, in 2007 he said he was going to disown his lesbian daughter. And then finally, and people were saying, oh, gay rights are not, gays are not native to Cambodia, they're a foreign import. So he said, okay, we are going to get all these gay and lesbian couples who've been together for more than 10 years, and you know what? We're going to get them from the farms, from these parts of Cambodia which don't have any exposure to the West. And he got them forward, and they were like, and said, hey, look, these guys exist, and these guys are, these guys are Cambodian too. And in 2012, not long after they did the campaign, Hun Sen said, well, at this land reform event, he said, yeah, actually, we shouldn't discriminate against homosexuals because they're also citizens. So, yay! All right, next slide. I recently met the Cambodian artist Bruce Lino. That's actually a long-term lesbian couple he photographed. He said, and those are their kids. And he said, he was asking them their stories. They met during the Khmer Rouge era when everyone was starving. And one of the femme one was asking the butch one, I'm starving. You've got some salt. Can you give me some salt? And the butch one was going, no, I want my salt myself. And the way he said, and the lady, she thought, oh my God, this woman's so mean. But she's also very interesting. So, yeah.
I just want to add on, I met them as well. They've been together almost 30 years. The reason why they have so many kids is because I think the village recognized them as a couple. So people keep leaving their kids that they don't want in front of their house. So they ended up having grandchildren and children, a huge family. And the village chief accepted them as a couple.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't mention, next slide, I think. Oh, okay, I did, all right, you just play these simultaneously if you like. That's Hui Suan from Cambodia, who's been really dynamic.
1, 2, 3. Hi Singapore, I'm Lanya from Myanmar. I wish you a happy and fabulous indignation Pride Parade in 2013. Not right.
Okay, Myanmar, they've also got 377A, like I said, but people don't, and there have been, but the big problem seems to be police harassment, not based on the law, but based on just because they're the police. Like it recently happened to a bunch of transgender women in Mandalay. So, but people are saying, it's all like, Aung San Suu Kyi is going to change everything, so maybe, they don't know. Myanmar could suddenly rise up and become, and like South Africa, suddenly introduce gay marriage when she becomes president. We don't know. I mean, I couldn't. Are there any Burmese in the house? Okay, I wasn't able to find out, is Aung San Suu Kyi a faggot or not? Okay. Because she's got that, she's got that look. Thailand, so civil union, we all know, when we went to Bangkok, they were saying, actually, to all of you, it seems like Thailand is a queer paradise, but it's not really. I mean, and I realized, actually, it seems like things are a lot freer than other places, but even transgender women, Singapore is still the only ASEAN country that allows transgender people to change their ICs. Can you believe that? It's ridiculous. I mean, but they recently struck down LGBT classification as a mental disease. Transgender people are no longer taken out of, stopped from being, exempted from military because of it's a disorder. They say it's because certain classifications don't fit. It's more PC phrasing. Next slide. Yeah. Okay. Oh, I didn't mention they are also working on their civil unions campaign, and it's and there's a very good chance that it'll be the first country in Asia to have civil union legislation. Although Taiwan is the other big front runner. Okay, and finally.
Happy indignation!
Okay, and sorry I've taken so long. The last ASEAN country I'm going to talk about, Vietnam. Now, like Vietnam also took all of our surprise when it said suddenly that you know what? Yeah, there's you know, we should maybe start exploring civil unions for gay people. And it was apparently the justice minister who talked about this. I mean, it was, and he was talking about this because Vietnamese activists were showing, put forward all these images. Look, there are lots and lots of gay couples with kids, and the law doesn't cover them yet. And so there was this rather unhomophobic thing, you know what, logically, we have to do something about the law covering these people. And it's, but despite this fact, it seems that it's not actually as cool as what's happening in Thailand. The law process is only going to be, they're not going to have civil union ceremonies. It's more about recognizing private contracts that people draw up between each other. They are going to have, they actually had a gay marriage ban from '98 to this year. They actually had lots of, in 2001 when they surveyed people, they found 83% of people rejected homosexuality. So it might not be as gay-friendly a place as one might assume from big news. However, one interesting, and there's a period of 3 years where they were in 2009 they recognized the transgender woman's sex officially, and then this year suddenly they recanted, they withdrew it. So that's messed up. Okay, so I know this is a lot of information, but I've tried to sort of give you a sense of how things are similar and different in each place. And so we'll end with last hello from Vietnam.
So happy indignation for France. Okay. Where are you now? No, okay, could you also say you are from where? So when you're in Vietnam, I'm very happy indignation of that.
I'm sorry, I am not Hu Jin from. Nor am I Jean Chong, who is going to actually finally speak, although I should ask, there have been no questions so far, so I'll assume maybe we should take combined questions later on. But Jean,